Right guys, Mark Crossfield here. We've got Richard from Titleist. As normal, product launch, 9:15. I got D2, you got D3.
Yep.
Thanks for joining us, Richard.
Thank you.
We are on the practice area here at Celtic Manor. The Wales Open.
The Wales Open.
So it's just before the event. So you guys have been helping some of your guys with the new product this week a bit as well, I think, haven't you?
This is the first week we're seeding the fairways and hybrids.
Fantastic. So let's look at D2, D3, 9:15, see what it's got to offer. Okay. Let's get stuck in. Right, Richard, 9:15.
Yes.
What's going on? We've got D2, D3, which has happened in the prior models.
Yep.
We're getting channels. Talk to me. What have we got?
Yeah, we've got a lot going on with 9:15, a lot to get excited about. The most obvious visible technology is the active recoil channel, ARC as we call it.
Right.
As you can see, it's very long, very wide, very deep, ideally positioned within the product. Has a few benefits for us. Primarily, it takes away some spin.
Okay.
We found that for every player, if we can knock a little bit of spin off them, then we can gain some yardage without affecting their launch angle or their speed.
Okay.
So if we can take a little bit of spin off, that's a good thing for us.
Okay, so active recoil channel is going to help people try and minimise the spin they're putting on the club. I think you said to me earlier, it's about how the club is kind of morphing or moving as the ball hits the face.
That's right. We've always known that the crown of the club flexes.
So the crown moves back as you hit a ball.
Exactly, and what's happening there is that encourages the ball to roll up the face, creating higher spin.
Absolutely.
Now with active recoil channel, the sole of the face is flexing in conjunction with the crown.
Okay.
That actually helps to minimise the ball rolling up the face, gives it the lower spin.
So in effect, does it make it flex almost evenly, so top and bottom?
Exactly.
So it gives it that kind of rebound almost, that recoil.
That's the other benefit of ARC, is the recoil channel does exactly what we're saying it does, which is act like a spring to sort of propel the ball forward and create more speed for it.
So to play devil's advocate here, I know the audience will be asking, well, surely we've seen this technology before in other models. This isn't that new for you, you were telling me earlier.
No, this has been in the development stage for about 5 years.
Okay.
The key for us is really we're maximising it. It is long. It's literally heel
It's
to
longer
toe.
than other ones I've seen.
It is. It's a little bit wider. It's deeper. You'll see within the fairway hybrid product that it's very different from the driver.
Okay.
It's there to help control the spin in the way we want it to do.
Yeah, fantastic. So the other thing as well with this club is the MOI properties are going higher, I think you've said it before. So the reluctance to twist and faster off the face. What's happening with MOI in this club?
We don't want to affect the playability of the club. We don't want the MOI properties to drop.
Yeah.
So yes, with the ARC channel in here, it is causing lower speed and lower spin.
Yeah.
Creates more speed. It's going to have an effect on the MOI properties. So what we've done with the construction of the product, we've taken every gram of weight that we can.
Yeah.
And where we can take stuff out of the front of it, we've pushed it as far back as we can to keep the MOI properties high, to make it forgiving. Okay. If we can do that, we can give you more speed on off-centre hits.
So we're saying it's going to be low spinning because of the channel. It's MOI friendly. It's basically user friendly as you can get a Titleist club in your mind. And it's got a funky face on it. I mean, every club's got something going on with the face, it seems. But what have you guys? You've done something quite different with the face, where it's thicker in the middle and thinner on the outside. Is that right?
Yeah. ARC has had a great effect on speed for us. So much so that because we're at the legal limits in the centre of the face,
absolutely. So that's
had to
maxed.
slow it down.
Okay.
So we've gone a little bit thicker in the face centre. That just slows it down, keeps us within the regulations. But ARC also improves the resistance for the face itself, so we've been able to thin out the perimeter of it and create more speed on off-centre hits for players. So especially on off-centre hits, you will see improved performance in terms of speed and spin. So
that's interesting. So what's Richard saying there, as I understand it, Richard, correct me if I'm wrong, what we're saying is because of the recoil, you've actually had to slow the centre down, otherwise you go over tolerance. So to bring it back to tolerance, you thicken the face up in the middle, but then that's allowed you to make it thinner on the toe and heel, which then obviously gives that more rebound, which keeps that speed up across the face. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. All faces are pretty much at the legal limits in the centre.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's around the perimeter that they see a drop-off in performance.
Absolutely.
What we've managed to do by being able to thin out the face here is keep that drop-off minimal. Okay. So our speed right across the averages of those sort of 8 points around the face centre is improved dramatically.
Fantastic. So we're going to take this to the range and hit it. Talk a bit more about appearance, and we got some real numbers coming at you. I've got my GC2 here and my real Titleist Pro V1X balls, which I game, so we're going to give you some real numbers as well. So let's take this to the range and see if all this tech actually is seen in the numbers. Let's go and check these numbers out. Right, Richard, we're on the range. We're going to hit D3. Got Titleist Pro V1X balls, my gaming ball, and we've also got my GC2. Never leave a home without it. So the D3
Yep.
is the smaller headed one.
Yep, 440cc, slightly deeper profile, a little bit taller top to bottom than its prior generation.
Okay, cool. And I mean, when I look at it, it sits lovely and square. I think it's 0.5 of a degree open, you mentioned.
That's right.
Which I'm not really seeing. It sits square in my eyes, which I like. We've got a back to front little...
Yeah, slightly different design fulcrum.
Fulcrum.
They wanted to do something a little bit different. The design came in, they loved it, and then somebody said later on, isn't it the wrong way around? Oh well.
Okay, interesting. Okay, so I mean, I quite like it the other way around. Like you say, it is a bit different. Black head to the black face with the white score lines looks stunning as always. Everything I'd expect from a Titleist driver. Let's hit it. We're going to capture some numbers with GC2 and then review them at the end. Here we go. I mean, I like that smaller headed look. I think certain people out there just want that smaller shape, don't they?
It's a more pear profile.
Yeah, absolutely. Here we go. Let's give it a hit. Okay, hit that nicely. Oh, I hit that well. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing the numbers. That's the flight I would want. In theory, this is lower spinning than D2 from that smaller head profile.
We've deliberately made the two products a little bit different this time around. So D3 will always spin a little bit less than D2, probably around about 200 to 300 RPM.
Okay, will be interesting to see if I get those numbers out of it. Let's do one more. I mean, I'm loving the look. The sound is where I would want it to be. Apart from the switching around of the graphic, guys, I mean, I'm not saying this isn't a shocking, this is what I would expect. But obviously we've got some new tech on there, which you'll say is just going to enhance me a little bit more, help me in some places a little bit more.
There's lots of new technology to make this a better product.
Yeah, and I mean, for me as well with a Titleist driver, if it's what I expect, and obviously Titleist drivers are pretty well respected out in the world, why would I want it to change? Wouldn't want to change just for changing's sake. I mean, if you've got something that works.
Yeah, cosmetics wise, there are some subtle changes.
Yeah.
Nothing more than that. It's the typical Titleist look.
Yeah,
Would always associate.
which is only a positive in my mind. Right, let's give this a hit and we'll go on to D2. Went for that one a bit. I like that. It's a great flight. It's such a true flight. I'm looking forward to seeing the spin numbers on this because that is definitely where I want to see a driver going. So should we do D2?
Yeah. Okay.
So this is 460.
Right, yeah, slightly more rounder profile versus 913. It's a little bit longer front to back, but overall this is just going to suit players who want a little bit more draw bias to the flight.
Okay.
Like a little bit more confidence from the bigger head.
Okay.
Obviously it's going to spin a little bit more.
And sitting, I mean, down at address it sits neutral in my mind. Is that correct? Is it sitting the same as that way?
Half a degree open.
Obviously we've got the same fulcrum. Of course, what else? Line on the top. Let's give it another hit. Definitely looks bigger down by the ball. I prefer the shape of that one for me personally, but I could certainly see lots of people who want to help looking at that a bit more favourable than that one.
We'll sell more D2 because it provides more confidence for players. It'll help them turn the ball over a bit.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Let's give it a hit then. Yeah, hit that nicely. Slightly louder sound, or is that just my strike there?
Yeah, the sound versus 913 is a little bit different. We wanted to make a hotter, faster sounding product.
Yeah.
Arc has an effect on the overall acoustics of it, but we really like where this has gone. I think from a consumer's perspective, it feels like they've really got something with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's give it another hit. I mean, the black head to the black face, the same as the D3, is just gorgeous looking. It's such a kind of high quality finish to it, which again is what I expect from you guys. Hit that nicely. Look at that flight, is gorgeous. We'll look at the numbers. It looks a fraction higher. I don't know if it is. We'll check the numbers.
Launch angles will be a little bit higher for D2 just because of the MOI properties of it, but generally they're very, very similar.
Okay, we'll hit one more and then we'll go and look at the numbers, scrutinise these numbers to make sure it actually is doing what it says on the tin indeed. Exactly. Let's give it one more hit. Yeah, hit that nice.
Don't have any doubt about the numbers.
No, I know you're stood there all confident next to the GC2 there. It'd be interesting to see what the numbers come out like. We're going to go and check them out. Guys, I mean, for me, it's Titleist. What you would expect from Titleist is a well-built, good-looking golf club. It's the change in that lineup line, which is the only thing. Sure Fit I love, and I've said that on many videos. It just works. Again, why would you change it? Let's have a look what the active recoil channel is doing. And check these numbers out. Right guys, numbers time. Let's check out some numbers. Enjoyed hitting them then. Yeah. So we've got D2, D3 numbers here. What's interesting is I've hit the D2 279 carry. Yep. Boom. Hey, gun show. That's huge for me. Yeah. And then 269 with D3. couple of interesting points. I hit D2 after I hit D3.
Yep.
And I was getting slightly more overexcited with each shot.
You were hitting it hard.
Yeah, absolutely. And I felt like I hit D2 a fraction better.
Yeah.
So as in, if we were to just keep doing this test, I think you might find they kind of flip subject to what batch I hit.
Yeah.
Interesting for me, and it's an interesting one for you guys, the spin on the two clubs is almost identical, and so is the launch.
Yep.
Now, for lots of people, they're going to be going, well, why isn't that spin different? This is the high spinning one and the lower spinning one. Well,
That's right.
I personally think that I react to the club.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, we have separated D2 and D3 a little bit versus where we were with 913. So from a robot perspective, D3 is going to spin less, probably upwards of 200, 300
I'm a
RPM.
robot.
You weren't on the range.
I malfunction sometimes.
You're human. That's why we love testing with humans.
Absolutely.
But in general, the products are going to launch pretty similarly. You're going to get very similar speed out of it.
Yeah.
It's going to be the spin difference when you're hitting them consistently. But as you said, you certainly made some adjustments to hit.
Yeah, I mean, I will do that. It's hard for me when I test not to just try and get the best out of each club. You know, if it's going to spin less or launch less, I have to try my hardest not to just adjust it as I play it. I think for the average Joe out there hitting, they would probably see a few lower spin numbers on D3 over D2. But I always think, because comments will always come to me, you know, I'm a high spinning player, should I use D3? Well, possibly. I would say do what I've done, go in it and get fit, because
that's the key.
The shaft would move the spin a fraction amount in those two, not masses, as I've done videos on shaft before, and you know, it's not the be all and end all by a long way, but just the way you look at the club and then you presented an impact around looks and things might make you change those spin numbers a bit as well.
That's right.
I mean, what's interesting enough for me on those two clubs is how similar they're performing, but also there's a sneaky little 281 in there.
There is.
Sneaky little 281. I mean, they're good numbers. Impressed, really impressed. There you go, guys, go and hit it yourself. I'm loving the club. I think it's true to what Titleist do. I think the channel's an interesting new part to your kind of brand and what, you know, you've not been in your brand before.
So that's visible technology.
It's definitely where I agree, and I think Titleist for the last few launches, the club hasn't changed that much. No. Where this one actually,
a lot of it under the hood.
Correct. We're not seeing that. Where you pick that up on a shop floor, you're going to see some, you know, some seeable tech that you should really get out there and hit and try, in my opinion. Thank you, Richard. Thanks for your time. Oh, 281. Hey, come on. Post comments down below, guys. 281. Thanks for watching. So if you like what's going on here, don't be afraid to subscribe to the channel. Also thumbs up the video, post comments. Love to hear what you guys got to say. Let's keep it social. The more we talk, the more we share, the easier this game will get for everybody. So if you want to find me on Facebook here, you can find me on Facebook. If you want to tweet me, find me on Twitter here as well. Just follow the links, all in the description. Come and join the show. Get active, get involved, get playing some better golf. Thanks for watching.